My name is Jorge Soberon. I am a professor at the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology, also a senior scientist at the Biodiversity Institute, and I normally teach multivariate statistics or conservation biology. I think the career path chose me. I was born being geeky and nerdy and like to collect butterflies and go digging for snakes and tarantulas and toads, and that I was born a biologist. Well, I really like theoretical stuff, so I enjoy teaching things that are regarded as difficult: mathematical ecology, population dynamics, statistics, multivariate statistics. I like those very much. And it's a challenge to be able to teach those in ways that are not boring and horrible. And I like that challenge too. Two things. First, an appreciation of the usefulness of these methods. They are really useful. But second, there is a beauty and there is some sort of fun on being able to do certain things with math or with the computers. And also there is a beauty on those things when you understand that behind a large number of mathematical techniques, there is the same idea always. That is, to me, very nice. I like realizing that sort of thing. And I like to be able to communicate these ideas to my students. KU is a great place. I don't have much experience of other universities in the United States, but I've been in a few and I have friends in several. So I think that KU has, in the first place, it's a big department with a lot of people, very good people, very productive people, people that write papers, that get grants, that go to the field, things like that. But there is also something that I have realized. It's a very collegial place. It's a place where you don't feel threatened. You feel a welcoming atmosphere. It's a nice department in that sense. I don't know if that makes it different from others, but this is something I really appreciate about this. I basically work on large-scale patterns of biodiversity, how life is distributed over the planet. And I do that using a method which is called species distribution modeling. I was instrumental in making this method popular and famous. And the reason why I am into that is that I used to work for the Mexican government 30 years ago, and they had a lot of questions about distributions of species, not only for conservation purposes, but for management purposes. Species of medical importance, like for instance, vectors of diseases, or invasive species, or pests of agricultural products, things like that. They needed to be able to predict distributions, and it was a challenge, because at that time we didn't know how to do it properly. It was done by the brains of the experts. There were no methods. So we had to develop the methods because there were users. I was working for the government and they were all the time asking, hey, we are going to introduce this species. Is it going to be a problem or not? And things like that. I when you teach at grad level, mostly you are dealing with colleagues. They're young colleagues, but they are your colleagues. They contribute to your research. They challenge you. They make you think what you are saying, and the results of the collaborations often are that collaborations. So how I treat my students, well, the way I treat a colleague. They are colleagues. and I enjoy very much working with young people younger than me, and it's something that it's one of the reasons why university work is so great, because you are all the time interacting with the young people, with their new ideas, new perspective, new points of view, all that. So as, my students are my colleagues. There are three things basically. One is I need help with math. Uh, we need to deal with big databases. So all my students get used to work with large databases. And third, these databases cannot be, you need to be able to program things using programming languages. So the third thing is programming languages. And now the combination of skills for these three big things differ from one student to another. I have had, for instance, students that are mathematicians, and then the emphasis is on the mathematical parts, proving theorems, proving results, things like that. Or students that are extremely good, for instance, at programming with R, doing things that I just cannot simply possibly do, and they take charge of that. And also the fourth thing is the field, because our what we do is basically create hypotheses, and those hypotheses have to be tested in the field. And I stopped going to the field years ago, so now that is basically done by students. So those things. I said that I am very nerdy, right? So I do two things. One is not nerdy. I every day I walk my dogs, or my walks walk me to in the unleashed dogs park, where they can do whatever they want. And we sometimes get to Wakarusa River, and they get into the river, or we just walk around. It's done every day, and I've been doing it since we came here, so it's a great thing. The other thing that I do, my hobby, is I try to learn how to do illuminations in medieval styles. For that, well, you need to get the pigments, which there are a couple of companies that give you medieval pigments. You can buy the original medieval pigments, and there are books that tell you the recipes to prepare those pigments, and how to prepare a piece of parchment and those things. So I spend a lot of my time um, destroying parchment with my attempts to do illumination. Well, the park, the Unleashed Dogs Park, I really like that place. But I'm since I am more responsible for the Museum of Natural History, this is a great place. It's a great place. There are tons of things, and I've been enjoying more and more being here, and the building is very unique. The fossils we have, some of them are absolutely astonishing. Um, the panorama. There are many things. So yeah, museum I like very much. I like also the the Spencer Museum, the art museum. Very, very nice. Very the perspectives they provide are normally very unique, very different from the perspectives of some of the big museums. Florence is a great place. Yes. I was very much into maths. When I was a student in Mexico, the math classes for biologists were normally taught by mathematicians because the School of Sciences had biology, physics, and math in the same building. So it was taught by mathematicians. I really liked those very much. But I also liked some of the classes that were taught in with labs, for instance, organic chemistry. And there was another one which is never. I mean, it's old analytic chemistry where you were taught the methods to see if what were in some unknown compound. That was fun. That was fun. Just spending hours in the lab and pouring things and looking at colors change or things precipitating. It was a lot of fun. To me, science is very much about fun, you know. It's a powerful thing and culturally very important, but for the practitioners, you're playing. At least I am playing most of the time.